In the previous lesson, we have seen past indefinite tense, and the technique that we have used, it was the conversion of sentences from present indefinite tense to past indefinite tense. In day-to-day life, you might find certain sentences in Urdu language which are used in past tense, and you will not find a consistent pattern out of it. So in that case, you may feel difficulty. So therefore, I have prepared this lesson so that you can understand the reason behind those inconsistent use of verbs. There are different forms of verbs we use in English language as well as in Urdu language. When I'm saying different forms, it means the verbs which are used with respect to time. When verb is explained with respect to time, then the shape of the sentence or the shape of the verbs, that is also changed. For example, in English language, we can find 5 different principal parts or 5 different forms of the verbs. They are infinitive or simple present, simple past, past participle, and present participle. Now, for example, if we are talking about start, so start in infinitive form, it will be to start, and then start or starts. In present indefinite tense, we have seen that with he, she, it, or name, we add s or es in the end of the verb. So start or starts is the simple present. Then in simple past, we use the started, which is commonly known as second form of the verb. And in the perfect tense, whether it is present, past, or future, we use the third form of the verb, and this third form of verb is known as past participle. And in continuous sentences, we add ing in the end, like starting. Therefore, for start, we have the first form is start, second form started, and third form of the verb is started. And whereas if you see another verb which is go, the infinitive form to go, simple present, or the first form of the verb, go or goes, and simple past or the second form of the verb, went, past participle or the third form of the verb, gone, and present participle, going. So go, went, gone. Wash, washed, and washed. Swim, swam, and swum. Put, put. Mean, meant, and meant. Consider these examples. You can find that there are certain verbs where a consistent pattern is evident, whereas there are certain verbs where consistent pattern is not there. For example, in the first verb, start, started, started, the consistent pattern is that we are adding ed in the end. Likewise, if we see go, there is no such pattern that exists between different forms. So go, went, gone, and all three forms are different. Similar rule we can draw for Urdu language. For example, if we take a verb come in English, come, came, come, this is irregular verb in English, whereas it is regular verb in Urdu. So the verbs which are regular or irregular in English language, it is not necessary that they will be behaving similarly in Urdu language. So you have to understand from the point of view of the pattern. If the consistent pattern is there, we can call it the regular verbs, and if the consistent pattern is not there, we'll call it irregular verbs. Come in English, it is irregular, come, came, and come. Whereas in Urdu, it is treated as regular verb in Urdu because you will find consistent pattern. The initial form of alimadda mean come, then infinitive form, that is the form of the verb without a relationship with time period, so ana. But when we are explaining verb with respect to time, then either it is the simple present, आता है, आती है, आते हैं, as we have seen in present indefinite tense, or simple past like आता था, आती थी और आते थे, as we have seen in past indefinite tense. Or in the coming lessons you will see different forms like आया था, आई थी, आए थे, or आया, आई, or आए. Then the past participle like आ चुका है, आ चुकी है, आ चुके हैं, या आ चुका था, आ चुकी थी, आ चुके थे. This is the use of verb in perfect tense where we are using the third form of the verb. Here you can find alimada a that exists throughout the forms, and whether it is आता है or it is आ चुका है or it is आता था or आया था. You can observe a certain pattern, certain consistent pattern out of it. But there are certain verbs you might find a difference. For example, there's a word go, go, went, gone. This is irregular verb in English. But the same verb, which is ja, it can be seen as regular verb as well as irregular verb in Urdu. It is how we are using this verb. If the verb is regular or irregular in English, it doesn't mean that you will find the similar pattern in Urdu. There are certain sentences you will find जाता था, जा चुका था, जाता है. There is a pattern. So this is the regular use of the verb. But you might find that present indefinite tense we are saying जाता है. But when we are in a past indefinite tense, you will not find जाता था. You might find गया था or गया. Whereas in the perfect tense, चला गया था या चला गया है, और चले गए थे या चले गए हैं. So this shift from ja to chala, this is the irregular use of the verb. Therefore, this is very important to understand at this stage that there are certain verbs in Urdu language we are using it as regular verbs or we are following a consistent pattern. There are many verbs, they are treated in both forms, whether the regular or irregular, as you have seen in case of go. So if you are unable to recall conventional use of the verb like gaya tha or gayi thi, you can use the regular pattern like ja, jana, jata hai, jata tha, or ja chuka tha. In the beginning we have to be careful, but moment you are used to of it, you will be unconsciously using both forms, regular or irregular. The difficulty may arise if you are listening someone talking to you in Urdu language. Sometimes they are using the consistent pattern or sometimes they are following the inconsistent pattern. This is where you need practice and you have to identify it, and I will try to give you sufficient information throughout these lessons so that you can understand these patterns. So that's all in this lesson. In the next lesson I will continue my discussion on past indefinite tense and we'll see some further use of past indefinite tense. So that's all in this lesson. Thank you very much.